course it's raining. It's England in January. I was hoping to do quite a long live here, go for a walk for maybe half an hour. Unfortunately, it started to rain and I don't want to get my phone wet, so I'll stay on for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Uh, I've come up here because I thought it would be a beautiful view out over the snowy hillsides, and it is. It's still snowy on the ground, still really nice out there, but it's all going to melt very, very soon. It's raining, it's cold. This is a fairly typical winter's day. The weather can change really quickly here. When I announced this live just 1 hour ago, it was quite bright, it was dry, and I was hoping to have a nice dry chat with you all. But we're here in the rain anyway. I'm with Perry. If you haven't met Perry before, this is Perry. He's my dog. Perry is a border collie. He's not very interested in being on a video. You'll see that Perry has his coat on. That's because he's getting quite old and it's cold out here. Perry's 11 years old. I've had him since he was a puppy and he's still quite active. He'll still come out for a run with me for an hour or so. So if anyone is online, you can ask me any questions that you have about life in Britain, British weather, Christmas. We can talk about Christmas. We celebrated Christmas here a couple of weeks ago. So my Christmas is always very family focused. I live in the same town as my parents and my brothers, so I get to see my whole family at Christmas, which is really nice. So at the moment I'm walking along a road, so there may occasionally be some traffic, but it's a very, very quiet road. You can see behind me there's virtually no traffic here, quite a bit of snow on the road. Hello, Happy New Year to you too. We celebrated New Year last week, actually earlier this week. On New Year's Eve, I went back to my old job in the pub. It was really, really busy, as you might expect. New Year's Eve in Britain is a big event. Lots of people have parties. There are usually some fireworks, celebrations, lots and lots of drinking, which I'm not a big fan of. So I work in the pub, I don't drink a huge amount. The sound could be better. Sorry about that. Usually I turn up the sound in my editing software. I'll try and speak a bit louder. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I have headphones in that should pick up the sound. Is that any better? Was the hood blocking it? House party on New Year's Eve. Yeah, that's really, really common. My neighbours had a house party. So my husband and kids went to a party while I was at work. Lots of people were out in the pub. It was a very and sorry, I don't know if you heard that. Just got a phone call, but not going to answer it right now. So what's the weather like in other parts of the world? If you're watching me from somewhere else in the world, what is the weather like in January where you are? Here it's generally cold. We don't get loads of snow, so this snow is fairly unusual. We might get it a couple of times in January. So just reading a few comments there. Like I say, if you're just joining me, I'm not going to stay on here long because the weather is far worse than I expected. It's raining, everything's getting wet, and I'm hoping I can keep my phone dry long enough to stay working. Do have a nice view out here. So I'm up on the hills. We have a lot of little lanes like this around here. I live out in the countryside, so you won't see much traffic around here. It's a nice place to walk. Lots of people come here for holidays. And I'm not reading things out if you're going to make rude comments, so that's a no. You've got to be polite if you want to have things read out. So we were on the topic of Christmas and New Year, both massive events over here. A few people have asked me if Christmas is only celebrated by Christians in Britain. No, it isn't. The majority of people, I think, in Britain would say they don't particularly follow any religion. It's not a very religious country. So most people do celebrate Christmas, though. Wildlife. Is there any wildlife about? Not a lot. I've only seen a couple of birds. It's really quiet. I think all the animals are hiding from the rain, which is a shame. So normally I would see loads of birds up here. Okay, so in Belarus, there's plenty of snow as well. Yeah, it's the oh, Terry's wandering off across the road. Come back, Terry. Good boy. So we're just turning off the road up a little track. I'm hoping I'm going to keep some phone signal up here. And it's really quiet. I was hoping that I could show you a little bit of the wildlife around here, but unfortunately, all the birds, all the animals are hiding. Normally, we'd see some robins and blackbirds. So, have any of you celebrated New Year? Did you go to any parties? Go out anywhere? What's New Year like in your town? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, it's a big deal in England and all over Britain. All the cities in Britain usually have big events going on New Year's Eve. The weather was terrible. It was really, really cold, raining very hard on New Year's Eve. So lots of people stayed at home instead of going out. But if it's dry, there's usually loads and loads of fireworks. But unfortunately, this year was a bit of a washout. So say it's a washout if it's raining too hard to do anything fun, which I think is pretty much what's happening with this live, because I'm getting wet, my phone is getting wet, and so are my headphones. So I know this was really short. I'm going to say bye-bye now because otherwise everything is getting wet. And I think next time I do a live, it's going to have to be indoors, or I'll have to wait until summer. So thank you for joining me for this very, very short live, and I will see you all again soon. Bye-bye.